Hello. So today the plan, it's been a while since I've done this. Today the plan is to look through and find ways to use WordPress for a website. And so the plan is to first we're going to break down what normal websites would need, and then we're going to use this list that I found here to try to supplement those needs. So pretty much I'm making a boilerplate with WordPress. So I'm gonna save this. Another thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna duplicate that. I actually, before this, had an idea for an app, and so I'll show you when I have ideas for apps or anything. I write them down just because I might make them later just for fun. I already have a couple. I actually have a lot, and specifically in this one. So I thought about this while I was taking a shower before stream. And so the idea is, it's called Music Taste, and it's an app. Don't know how to spell social. It's a social app that lets you to find and communicate with others based on music preference. So the idea that I thought of was, I got the idea because me and my wife are sending each other music right now. And so I was thinking that it came with the idea of a dating app, but I don't want this specifically to be for that. Just like, I was thinking when people date, or even just like look to date, one of the first things they talk about is like music preference. It's something really easy to get along with, and if you don't share the same music, it's really easy to like get to know someone through that. At least that's been my experiences. So I was thinking that some people have music that they want to share or like find more of, and there's apps that do that, but some people might want like a more social connection, or maybe those apps, the algorithms aren't working as well, and so maybe they'd have a better job, or they'd have a better chance to find people that like the same music and then see what they listen to. I'm also eating grapes, by the way. Okay. So what I do is I make a name, or at least the idea. I'll write that down. I'll write down like a couple of sentences to know what the idea was, and then I'll set an example so I know exactly what I was visualizing, because when I go back to these, it'll be a long time later, and I probably won't actually remember what any of these are, so I have to write them down. So an example would be, first let me continue this view. Search by music, so that could mean artist, albums, songs. Let me clarify that. And for me, I used to only listen to like albums, but with like Spotify and stuff, I kind of just started listening to like certain songs. But I know there's some people that really like specific artists, like K-pop stans on Twitter. But there's also some people that, like, I found out don't actually like music that much, and so they just listen to certain songs. So this is a way that it's accessible for everyone. So if we go to our example, we'll search. How do you spell them? Man, I should put someone I actually know, because I actually don't listen to Pink Floyd. I know of them, but I haven't listened to their stuff. Kanye West. Okay. Yeah. Let me clarify search. Okay, so the example is I'll search in albums, like I'll specify, so that way it'll be easier to like parse everything. And then the example is Kanye West Dropout. So the last part is it will show people that have added this to their favorite albums. So I have to keep expanding on this, because how would people know what music you like? And also not just like what music, like what stops people from getting on here, clicking a ton of music, just try to talk to people and not know about it, you know? Or to distinguish, like, if I know a song on this album, should I put the album down? The point of it is to just talk about music you really like. So there needs to be a favorite system. Because let's take an example, like if I like a couple of BTS songs, but I wouldn't call myself that much of a fan. But there's some people that really like BTS and only BTS. So if I add, like, let's say one song of theirs, I probably shouldn't be given to a person that's looking to talk to BTS people, because I'm not as big of a fan. They can talk to other people that are bigger fans than me. They have a better time. At least that's the premise. So for the favorite system, I'm thinking, so if you specify what exactly you want to talk about, it'll make it easier to find other people. And the Now again, these are just ideas for apps. Doesn't mean I'll make them, doesn't mean they should be made, doesn't mean even if they should that I will. I just like writing down ideas, thinking them through, and then just leaving them there. Maybe it'd be a fun project later. So the favorite system would be the top 3 to 5. Yeah, you would have to go in when you make an account and put your top 3 to 5 artists, songs, genres, albums, so that way when people search, it'll be easier to find you and you'll find the people that you actually want to talk to. So oh, what are they called? Is it a privacy policy? I don't think that's what I'm thinking of. It's oh. One reason I called it music taste was when I was thinking this idea, I just thought of this specifically. I thought talking about socializing might be better here. So I just want to write that down because that's like one reason I liked the idea was just because of that tagline. So I think I'm done with this one. I'll leave it here. One last read through. Social app that allows you to find and communicate with others based on music preference. You search by music, genre, artist, album, song, etc. That's the end of a sentence. Go ahead and put that on the next line. Favorite system, top 3 to 5 genre artists, etc. The higher you rate them, 1 versus 3rd spot, the more the algorithm focuses on that as your taste. This is the second one to make it easier to find people with a more exact music preference. Yep. Okay, I just added a little portion that I just thought of right now as if just because you like a certain album, let's say the Kanye West Dropout, and you're looking for people to talk about it and then maybe also give you music suggestions. If you go on the app and you just see a list of people, that's not very inviting, right? I mean, you know that the other people also like this as their favorite, like this is your favorite album that you're willing to talk about. But if it's just a list of people, it's still daunting. It doesn't actually like make you feel invited to actually talk to anyone. You don't know what else they like, you know? So I thought that if you have a list of people and you see their next 2 albums underneath, and I'll help you parse it. It's like, okay, maybe I like Kanye but not Jay-Z. Those 2 are usually together. So if I see that they have Jay-Z stuff, probably don't want to talk to them because I don't really like Jay-Z stuff. But if it's like Kanye and then J. Cole and Drake, that's really up my alley because those are the ones I like. Okay, so I think I'm done with this idea for now. Might work on it later. So, close that one. Okay, so now on to this one. Another great. Okay. Needs. So I'm just going to try to remember. There might not be a particular order. I kind of did this on some other lists beforehand. So like this one I have in the background helped. So I think I might go off of this to start. So I'm going to need all of those things actually. Security. If you don't know what CMS stands for, it stands for content system. And so what a content management system is pretty much when you make a website, the whole point of people paying you to make a website is that they don't have to learn how to make a website. But it's not your website, it's theirs that you're making it for. So usually it's for like stores, or actually it doesn't matter what kind of website you're making. They have content that they want on the web. That's why they're getting a website. But they don't always want you to put it on there, because if they want something quickly changed, or if they want to update things without you, or even if they just want to pay you for the website and that's it, they don't want to pay for maintenance, which is fair. You need a way for them to actually like go into the website and do things without it being too complicated, and them having to learn how to, update and make a website, because that defeats the purpose of what you're doing. So that's what these are, content management systems. Pretty much code, or I want to say apps, plugins, or just systems that pretty much make it drag and drop, however you normally edit things on a computer or on a website. That's a content management system, so we would do the same thing for your user. So the next thing that is important is performance, to me at least. So what performance means is, if you didn't know, Google has a rating system based on every website that's on the web, and it'll show you, based on criteria, what score you get. And so it's based on many factors. But the reason this is important is, one, it makes sure that your website runs really well on anything. So that means on like older phones, on low to no internet. Google's pretty much just testing, hey, if I don't have the best computer, the best phone, the best internet, how good does this website work? And the better it works in poorer conditions, the higher the score, because Google's like, oh, we can give this site to people and they will still enjoy the site, even if they're not in the best conditions. Google doesn't want to give people a really heavy site, because if you're in somewhere that doesn't have a lot of Wi-Fi, you're just going to keep trying to refresh, it's not working, you get frustrated, you don't want to do it anymore. So I'll show you, if you do F12 or Control-Shift-I, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Control-Shift-I or F12. It'll open up the Google Console development tool. And so this is a lot of code stuff, there's just the HTML and CSS down here. Consoles for the actual code, so that could be JavaScript or even Python maybe, but I don't know. It might be parsing it and only being JavaScript in here. But if you go to right here where it says Lighthouse, this will run a report and it'll tell you how good of a score you get, and it'll break everything down. It'll tell you why you got your score, what you can work on. I'm not gonna do it because it takes a while and it might crash the stream. It doesn't take too long. It just lets you know it only takes like 2 minutes tops, I would say. But just so you know, I might do it another day. Probably when I have a site. Yeah, actually, after I make a WordPress site, then I'll run the score. So, performance. One thing that helps, I know because I've looked at scores before, is optimized images. So there's certain sizes, not of like how big the picture is on your website, but how big how much storage the image takes. I don't know how to say it. How much memory. That's it. How much memory your image is. The larger the image, the worse the score, because if you have, let's say, 3 images and you don't optimize them, so they're all really big, that just means a lot of internet, of good internet, your phone or computer needs to render the image correctly and quickly. So if someone's in bad internet, or they don't have a very good phone, it'll be hard for them to see the image, and so the website will look bad, or it'll take a long time to load, defeats the purpose. So the last two I have in the background, this is the list I'm using to go off so far, because I did it earlier. This was for a specific client, so large file transfer isn't really needed for everyone, and invoices isn't really needed for everyone either, but it's a good one to have. So I'll put that as a bonus. Actually, really quickly, I think I made a list similar to this. So let me see if I could find it. So I'm gonna close out real quick on that. Just wait there for a little bit. Because I don't want you looking through all of my notes. I don't think there's anything bad, but it just feels like an invasion of privacy. It's mainly just a lot of to-do lists, like daily ones, and you'll see like half of them done, and then there's the next one of the next day that has like the last half of the of the day prior, the ones that I didn't do, and then more stuff. And yeah, you'll see that a lot of them actually have the same things on it, because I usually do other things and put off the same thing over and over. Right now, just to clarify, I'm looking through my notes to see. Oh yeah, I found it. Oh, that was the only thing that I forgot, was forms. It's another bonus that might be needed. CMS, security, performance, optimized image. Cool. Okay, not really forgetting anything. Sick. So let's put that back up. That way you can see. So now that we know that this is, let me think of a website. Well, the main things are obviously different pages. You'll need navigation, but WordPress comes, like, that's built in to WordPress, I would think. Even without any tough plugins or anything, you could do that. Oh, SEO. I actually don't know what SEO stands for, but what SEO means. Oh, that's what it is. Search engine optimization. I put it in bonus, but it really should be in the needs, honestly speaking. So I'll leave that there, and I'll put email marketing here. So what search engine optimization, SEO, is pretty much making sure that your website pops up with the right keywords. So if I have a store that sells flowers, when people in my area, specifically in my area, because usually the people you make websites for aren't international, but if they are, it doesn't have to be, but you always want your area first because it's easier to grow, and it's usually where your main clientele is. So if people in my area are looking up flowers, I want them to find me instead of, like, let's say international stuff or non-flower specific things, but that's where you get flowers. Like, let's say if I look up flowers, I don't want Walmart to pop up before me because I'm local and my thing is flowers. I was gonna assume I'm doing a better job than Walmart, but Walmart just sells flowers. So if no one else is selling, that's who's gonna get it. Does that make sense? So I'm helping Google tell people that are looking for flowers to find me, because that's what I'm selling. And for email marketing, it's very common for websites, it doesn't matter how big, specifically like commerce. write that down too, specifically for e-commerce, to want to have email signups and constant email marketing. If you look at a lot of websites, they'll ask for your email, you put it in, and then you'll just get regular updates, and that's like to make sure that you don't forget about them, to inform you if there's a sale, because that's probably how just like they'll keep you as a customer. So make you a new one and keep you as a current one. That's why it's important. And it works. That's why everyone does it. Specifically the big companies. If you go to any big company, Nike, Adidas, Walmart, Target, anything, they'll probably you'll probably get a thing that says, hey, do you want us to email you? And then if you do, you'll get alerts on deals and anything like that. And that helps them sell to you. The reason I wrote e-commerce up here is because e-commerce is built differently than normal websites. Not too much, but the main difference obviously is even though you can put your items with a content management system, a CMS, you can put whatever you're selling up there. It needs to be able to do transactions. You can show people what you're selling. And not every business that sells things is going to want to sell things online. Specifically, like food. Not everyone wants to sell food online. Because, then you have to worry about shipping and everything. But for those that do want to sell online, you have to have a way for people to pay you. So that's the main difference. I want to think through before I look at the list. We can always add things after, but I want to think through if anything else is needed. Ads. If someone wants to try to monetize their website, that's probably a good thing to know how to do. Because if they're not selling something, maybe it's something more informative, whether it be about a business or like a blog, people want to make revenue from that. And so just like advertising on billboards, your website with a certain amount of people viewing it so often, you can make money because you're giving space of advertisement to eyes, if that makes sense. That's why when you go on YouTube and you see ads on the side, it makes sense because YouTube is a free app, but they're still making money from it. So you might be doing the same for others. Anything else? People might want a sign-in system depending on what they're doing. If they're trying to save any information. Not everyone needs it, but it's there. Pretty much I'm just going through steps of normal websites. So let's say I go to a random website, it asks me to log in, so there's the sign in. I do that. I look at what they're trying to show me or sell me. There's normal little things that are in every website, like search bars and scrolling, and display. But because we're working with WordPress, pretty much WordPress is just plugins. It's just stuff that people have already made to work correctly. So they already have all these little things built in, and we're just finding the best ones that work for us. So I don't have to write a search bar and stuff like that, because it'll already have it. I think we're good for now. So let's just go. This is just a random list I found. So we'll find what we can here. Maybe we'll look at others, and then the point of this list, the reason we're looking at this list is because we now know what we need for a hypothetical website. And so now we need to find WordPress plugins that can do these things. We'll test them out, make a website using all of these things, and if it works out, then we now have a boilerplate. I can now make a website constantly that has all these things easily because I already know what plugins I like and how to use them. So I know of WordPress, but I don't know any plugins, and that's like the main part of WordPress. So I'm looking at online suggestions. I'll try them out, and if I like them, then I'll use them. Ooh, close the list. One thing to add is that I'm gonna focus specifically on like free or cheaper versions, specifically free versions at first because I'm testing things out, so I don't want to buy something that I might not like how to use. Wait, no, it's the wrong one, sorry. That was a form. Oof, I forgot I was gonna keep doing that. So this website, I guess, that I'm using to have my list, it's called Google Keep. It's a app, because it's a web app, but it's also a phone app that Google provides. And I really like it because it updates in real time. So if I had it open on my phone as well, and I clicked on this, you would see that everything I just put is already here, even though I haven't touched my phone at all. And that's just because the way the app is built is it's constantly updating any version on any device. Okay, so next. The reason I can go kind of quick on the first maybe 3 or 4 is just because I looked at the first couple just to make sure I liked the list, and I did, but everything else I don't actually know. So you're gonna learn along with me if I want to keep any of these. I remember this one, so this is Google Analytics. So I'm gonna keep that actually. So that's not something I wrote down, but it's good. So to clarify what analytics means is it's pretty much a way to test how your website is working. So what analytics does is it has little tests on all parts of your website or certain parts of your website, and it tracks your users and it'll say what they did. So like if someone looks for flowers, they click your link, right, for your flower store, but they leave in the first 5 seconds, it'll track that and it'll be like, okay, this many people clicked when they put flowers, but this is how fast they left. Okay, well then you know that maybe they're looking for a specific type of flower and you don't sell it, right? And so it just helps you understand what your users are doing and what you can do to make it better. So that could mean if you notice that a lot of people are coming to your website, they type in lilac, right? And you don't have it, so they leave the website. Well, that might mean that you have a high demand of lilac in your area. And so maybe you should provide that. If people are looking for flowers and they want that, you might want to start selling that. Or maybe if you notice that everyone's like adding a lot of flowers to their cart, but they don't buy it, maybe because they see the price really big at the end. So maybe you have a problem with your pricing. It can also help you find out, how to get those customers back. Like I said with the email list, if they signed up, then you can email them and be like, hey, we noticed, you left these in your cart, stuff like that. I guess the simplified answer is Analytics lets you know how users are using and how they're doing on your website, so that way you can make it better for them. So I remember reading about this one. I've actually heard this one before. Oh, real quick, I'm actually going to save this list on here, just so I know. Another thing I'll do is, so my phone, it's in dark mode, so I don't know if it'll show, but this is the same list. It's not focusing, which is okay. Maybe I'll help if it's not in dark mode, to be fair. Does that help? I don't. Yes, it does. Okay, so you can see it's the same list. Right, there it is. So we're gonna, for SEO, we're about to update it, right? So I'll show you on my phone SEO. If you notice right there, SEO is right there. Has nothing next to it. I'm gonna put it on there. You can see it updated on my phone. So that's just a real quick thing to say why I really like the app is it instantly updates. That's really good for me because I like working on my computer and then I'll think or work on my laptop or on my phone. So I have everything right there. I don't have to like copy it anywhere else or like text myself things to remind myself I have it. That's not what I need. This is what I need. That's what I need. So I copied the wrong thing. So now we have our SEO. Okay. And then that's why I remembered to put email as here's an email. This is an email list. That's not the thing. Sometimes the links are really big. I don't like that. So here's an optimization, but what does it specifically optimize? Oh, opt-in, not optimize. Okay, that's different. Conversion rate. Okay, yeah, no, so this is more of a marketing thing. I don't think I need this. And like I said, we saved the list, so anything that's on here we don't actually like lose. Like if I think of something, a use case later, maybe someone asks me to make a blog and I'll need something like this, I still have the list saved up here. That's why I kept it. So helps you recover. So this is what I was talking about earlier with analytics, is if someone leaves stuff in your cart, you can find them and then tell them, hey, remember this one you wanted to buy? Do you still want to buy it? Or maybe give them a discount. That's enough to get people to actually buy things again. Or if they weren't going to, they will now. So, you may lose a little bit of money, but losing 10% of new money that you're going to have compared to someone not buying anything at all, it's a good trade. I guess I should explain that math a little better because maybe it doesn't make sense the way I said it. So let's say I have a cart full of 3 bunches of flowers. Just to clarify, I'm going to keep using like the flower shop as imagery as my example. So let's say I have a customer on the website that has like 3 flowers in their cart, or 3 bunches of flowers. So let's say it's 10 bunches each, or $10 per bunch. So if it's 3 bunches, that's $30. So I see that it's in their cart. I know this because of my analytics, but they decide not to buy, right? They just leave the website. They haven't checked out, but it's still in their cart. They didn't get rid of it. So now I know that there's a customer that at least thought about buying. So I might reach out, like I might have an automatic email after, like, let's say 24 hours to be like, hey, are you sure you don't want these? Or it'd be like, if you don't buy them, they're selling out, something like that. And maybe they even give them a deal, like a 10% off, So 10% off of $30 isn't a lot. It's like $3 off, I think. But, 27 is better than $0, if that makes sense. 27 being if they bought with the 10% off compared to, they didn't buy anything at all, you still made good profit. Okay, moving on. Here's a security one. And the good thing about this specific list is it gives you, if you noticed, which you probably can't because I'm not doing a very good job of explaining or describing, but one reason I like this list is they give you a very in-depth reason of why they chose this one. They usually give you options of alternatives, and they are making sure if they list something, they're listing either free ones or free versions, and if they can. Like this one, they made sure to point out, here's the free version of this, and that what happens if you actually pay, what you actually get from it. But also on certain ones, it actually gives you instructions. So it's like if you're new to WordPress or using analytics on WordPress, for example, it's telling you how to actually use analytics. It gives you links on guides as well as on other blogs to describe, like in this one with the SEO. It recommends Yoast, but also it tells you why it's important or how to use them. So it's a very, very insightful list. So I'm really happy with it. I haven't looked into it too much. Just kind of saving it for today. But now that I'll have my list, I'll look into everything more. So where did we stop at? This one. That's where we stopped. So like I said, this one, if you know security is important, specifically to a new client, maybe they have something that they really want to protect, like confident information. You decide if you feel comfortable doing that, but if you do, you need to learn about it. And so they're giving you a good suggestion of what to use, and also here's a suggestion of how to get started and how to know what to use and why to use it. So that's why I'm using this list specifically. I'm very happy with it. And as I said, that doesn't mean I'm automatically going to start using all of these. I don't have my website just because I barely looked at a list. But it's a very good starting place because, as I said earlier, I don't use WordPress. I don't know any plugins. So this is my first exposure. But this looks like a list I've really looked into. I really like how they do things, so I trust it to at least start here, right? So I'm going to do my research afterwards, maybe on stream, maybe not. And I'll see if I like them. And if not, I'll look at the other suggestions, I'll look at other blogs and sites. And another thing, not just to look at what the website that these have says. Don't only look at what the company is saying about their product, because obviously they're only going to say good things, right? I'm also going to look at reviews from users to make sure that everything advertised works correctly, that it's not hard, that it's not too expensive, that, just how if you're going to buy anything or, just as if you would buy anything, you should check reviews first. Same thing specifically if you're going to use other people's technology. You have to make sure it does what it does correctly. You have to make sure other people like it and that, they don't recommend other things instead. Okay, so I think this was the last one I kind of read about when I was skimming through this article. this blog. So everything else is a surprise to me. So let's see if we can use any of it, or if we want to use any of it, I should say. Backup plugin. Oh, that's not a bad idea. So because this is a well-made list, sorry if you can hear my dogs. I'm just gonna kind of keep going because I don't want to keep pausing. Since I don't have a lot of time before work. But pretty much what this is saying is, hey, your website, something might go wrong, you might, whether it be like through hacking or through you deleting, or your customer deleting something by accident. What this plugin will do is gonna pretty much make a copy of your current website, so if something happens, you can just put the copy back up. Think of it just like, when you write a paper and you have to keep saving your paper, so if you make a mistake or you delete something by accident, you have the save. That's what it's for. Copy that link. On to the next one. I've heard of this one. Caching plugin. Ooh, a performance one. Don't I already have a performance one? I don't. I'm actually going to put these separate. Because even though they're both for performance, I'm going to probably need two, or maybe I'll need two different plugins. Now if I don't, I'll just undo all of that. Let's see if this is on recommended. Oh, so it does look like it's going to do all of that actually. So some of these are very, I wouldn't say buzzwords, but I would say they're very technical words that luckily I know of just because I've worked in the industry and I've learned a good amount, specifically from going to meetups and conventions on front-end development. So I'm gonna eat the script and I'll explain. Okay. So this plugin is going to optimize your website, and one of the main things it's going to do is caching. And what caching is every time you go onto a website, what your computer is doing is it's going to your server, like whoever has the website up, it's going to go to the server, get certain information, so like the front page, and bring it back. That's how a website works. Is your computers, you'll type in google.com, press enter. Your computer will go to Google server. I'm not going to explain how it finds the server. That's actually pretty complicated. And it does it really, really incredibly fast. It's incredible. But it'll go to Google server after it's found it. And then it'll be like, hey, my person wants to go on google.com. And Google will be like, okay, here's the page that they want. So it'll go and it'll give it back. And so in less than a second, your computer has talked to a server somewhere that's very far away and given you the right information. And at that same time, if you're already like logged into your Google account on Chrome, it'll remember that. So it'll remember your past searches and stuff like that. All happens in that same transaction. Now with caching is, if you do that for every time you go onto a website, right? If your computer is going to a server and coming back, that takes internet. And like we said, we have to focus on trying to use the least amount of internet, because the less internet you use, the better experience you'll have. Just for anyone. Doesn't matter what you're using or where you are. The less internet used, the better, because that means your website can run well, and that means your website will be faster. with smartphones, people are less likely to wait on a website to load, and they're less likely to even try that website again because it didn't load fast the first time. People are very unforgiving because there's so many choices now. So what caching does is, if you go to a website, you go to the server, it brings it back, it actually gives you most of the website for your computer to remember. So not just your computer, but also your tablet or your phone. It actually saves most of the website in the browser. So in your Chrome, there's a little folder that, and obviously this is okay to do, it's not taking any information from you or anything like that. It's just keeping an image, kind of like a backup with the plugin earlier. It kind of has a little backup of the website you're on. Let's say Walmart.com, right? If you go to Walmart, if you think about, or Amazon, these are really big websites, right? They have tons and tons of things to sell. So obviously they're not going to save the whole website. That wouldn't be fast. But at the same time, if every page, every time you looked at something, every time you went to the next, if you're looking for a certain thing to buy and you don't find it on the first page, you go to the next page, and if you click on one item and you don't like it and you go back and you click on the next item, if you had to keep loading every single page, that would take a long time and you would not want to use Amazon anymore. So what they do is they have your computer remember a little bit of the website. So the first time might be a little slower, but you probably won't even notice. But every other time you use the website, it'll be a little faster because your computer doesn't have to get the whole setup from the server again. It actually already remembers some of the website. So even if you're offline, you can actually look at some websites still because you saved it without knowing through caching. That's what caching is your computer has or your browser has a cache, and that's where it's saving the parts of the website without you knowing. And that's why on the phone specifically, if apps or websites are working wrong, or if they're being weird, if you go into the settings and you delete your cache, what you're doing is you're deleting that backup. And so the backup sometimes is what has the problem. So sometimes deleting your cache and deleting your storage will actually make your app work again because you deleted the thing that was it was trying to remember and it couldn't, and so it was causing an error. So that's caching. So that's what all of these are. Preloading, that's what we just talked about. Caching is just saving it. Cache preloading is what we were talking about. Amazon is it saves part of the website in the cache. And so what it does is when you go to Amazon, again, the next time you go, it'll show you the parts you already saved first, so it looks super fast. And whatever you don't have saved, it'll load after. So that way you're not waiting, but you're getting new stuff. So it shows you what you have saved. And if you're looking for something that it didn't save before, it'll show you after, but it'll be super smooth and fast. I don't really want to explain lazy loading. It's pretty similar. Okay, lazy loading is kind of what Amazon does. Instead of preloading, lazy loading is just, it'll show you the image. No. Okay, I think this is what lazy loading is. I think lazy loading is anything that's easy for your computer to get from the server. It'll show you that first. Because like I said, images are bigger. It takes more internet, it's more size, so it's harder for your phone or computer to download it quickly. So I think what lazy loading does is it's like, give them all the easy stuff first so they don't run away from the page, right? And then the harder stuff, like, a lot of code or images, loaded afterwards. But they won't know because they haven't gotten to that part of the website yet. if that makes sense. So I'm pretty sure that's what lazy loading is. That's just server stuff. Or that's actually like URL. So if you look up here, that's URL. So that's just helping with that. Actually, no, DNS is that. What's CDN? Oh, okay. I'm not even gonna try to explain it. DNS is the URL stuff, like routing. That's what that is. Ooh, interesting. So instead of you going to Amazon and then caching it, it'll already cache certain sites without you having to do it. Cool. Yeah, so this is what I was looking for. Free image optimization. So, like I said earlier, images can be different sizes. The bigger the size, the harder it is for it to download. So we needed something that if my customer puts in images, they're not gonna know sizes. Even I don't know sizes, right? So this does it for me, which is good. I need that. So it doesn't look like this one's free because this one says it's free but not as powerful or easy. And like I said, this looks really good. As I explained, all these things can be a little difficult, but if you can do them, it makes your website look spectacular because it's so fast and smooth, which is very important for people. Because like I said, if people can't see your website, I forgot what the statistic was, but it's like if your website doesn't load in 4 seconds or 7 seconds, one of those, people will leave. If your website does not show up in that time, they will leave. I know because I've done it. I'm like loading. I'm because I know how hard it is to make a website. I'll be like, give you another chance. I'll reload. Maybe it's my internet. If it doesn't work, I'm like, sorry, man. Maybe next time. So this one is very important to keep. This is what I need. So we're gonna save this one. I just want to know how much it is. 1 year. Just for one website. Little price. By little, I mean pretty expensive. But depending on how much you get paid, it might be worth it. So I'll save it for now. Oh, like I said, if I found one that did both, I would just undo all this so they're on the same page. Or at the same line, because it does both. To the next one. So wait, how much? 24 and we're on 8. We're a third of the way. Honestly, pretty good. Ooh, a good builder. With code, there's a lot of customer relationship. Okay, cool. I'll write it down because I should know about it. No, I'll leave it out. I was thinking about saving that as a bonus, but honestly, the people I'm going to specifically be selling to, they don't even have people to do customer relations, and I don't think they're going to want to outsource it either. So, but I know about it now. Oh, just to clarify, sorry, I looked at it pretty quickly. So as we can see in technology and in front end, there's a lot of acronyms, So I quickly looked it up. CRM is a customer relationship management tool or service. And so what that means is, hey, if your customer has a question, has a problem, you have a way for them to contact you and for you to help them out. So if you ever go to a website and it's like, hey, if you have any questions, you can type here and we'll get back to you. Someone will type back. Or it's like, hey, you can type here and we'll email you. That's customer relations. So this is a website builder, kind of like what I'm already doing. So this might be very helpful, actually. I will keep it for now. First, my favorite question. Let's see that price. Per year. So it's usually 80 per year, but I can get it for 40. And it's for one website, so I'm good. But doesn't hurt to know about it. Okay, what's next? Oh, an online course one. Wait, is that allows you to build online courses, communities, and memberships? Oh, so you can make like subscription services. Okay. I don't think I want to save this one. Like I said, we have the list if we need it. But pretty much this excels at making subscription services. So like, if you have an online gym membership where you like do coaching through video, this might be really good because, it helps you have your class. It helps you get paid all in one place. So it's not bad. Okay, for giveaways. It's a cool idea. I definitely don't think I'll need this. At least not soon. Push engage. I can kind of guess. Yep. Oh, push notifications. Yeah. So this is a lot of marketing stuff. I like the idea, but I'm good. Ooh, automation. I love automation. I like that. This is good. So what this one is saying is it's letting you connect plugins or even other WordPress websites. And the reason that's powerful is because if you need someone to make an account before they can buy something, but you might need two different, maybe you have one WordPress website, that's just that just has your account system, but you have it for multiple websites. This can talk to all of them for you to make it easier. Or a better example for the same website would be if someone wants to buy something, but they need to be signed in. When they click buy, this would be like, hey, check, sign in. If not signed in, throw them to the sign in, or to sign up. Then after sign up, throw them back to the checkout, so that way they don't have to go back to their cart, because they're already gonna be kind of bitter that you made them sign in. So don't make it hard for them to buy things after that. So I guess it's kind of hard to explain how important and good this could be, but it's not necessary, but it's a good idea. This one's specific for online courses. I know this because I was going to help someone make an online course, and so I kind of did my research on WordPress plugins for that. Oh, they have G Suite on WordPress. Makes sense. More marketing. This is a marketing tool with SEO. So this is what we were talking about earlier, the customer relation management. This is a live chat, so you can outsource your customer relations. So I guess you would like. How does that work? Do you teach them what they need to talk about? Or maybe this just lets you have a live chat option and you, or whoever you pay to, would be the live support team. That makes more sense. Okay, so links in this one does not mean like URL links like we're doing for here. It's not talking about these links. It means another type of marketing. It means it's very easy for you to track pretty much people you pay to help advertise for you. So if you ever see people like selling or having advertisements on YouTube, that's the kind of link it's talking about. So it helps you do that. Oh, social media. Okay. I don't like that. So this is a it's called a social media plugin. It helps you put socials on a website. One thing that they're very proud of is having it so it shows what was it, retweets, share count, how many times something's been shared. I don't like when it comes to numbers because they're very subjective. So you might think it's a lot, right? Because you made it. So like if you own a business and you have 2 clients in your first month, or even your first year, depending on what kind of business you have, you'd be very proud. You know, you've never had a web or a business, and now you have 2 clients. People are willing to pay you. But to outside people, someone hears 2 clients in a year, and they're like, "Wow, they're not doing well." Or some people would be like, "Wow, they're doing great." You know, it's very subjective. So, I mean, they probably have an option to turn it off. But either way, I don't think I really need a social media one right now. I'll save it in case, because even though I don't have the fondest use of social media, doesn't mean my users will not. But that's a bonus. Doing a great job so far. Okay, number 2. Wow! Already on 20? Whoa. This is just a hope. Not even mailing. This isn't email marketing. This is specifically to help you with the email actually going places. I don't think this will be a problem. I don't know. This could be cool. I don't know how important it. I mean, okay, so what this is saying is, no matter what plugins you're using, this one will help you quickly add something to the top or the bottom of your page, which is very helpful because that's where you put a lot of important information. The top of your page is like any alerts, anything, the first thing you want your customer to see. So that could be business hours, you know, like something for the holidays. It could be a sale you're having. That's very important. The bottom could be, you know, links to help people go where they need to go if they didn't find it on the page while they were looking. So that's where you put important links. But the reason I don't like the idea of this one is I know how to code. The reason I'm looking for WordPress is because I don't want to code. So it is very helpful if there's a coder that really wants to put things in their own hands, be like, oh, it's faster if I code it myself. That's fair. I don't want that. I want a completely codeless experience, if possible. Personally. But it's still a good tool to have. Ooh, I really like this. I didn't write it down because I forgot to. I actually really like this idea. Technically, it's a bonus. Let's see. We'll roll the dice. If it's free, I'll put it as a need. If it's not, I'll put it as a bonus. Is it free? My guess is it's not. Not free, but how expensive? What about the other one? Whew. One site, 3 site, unlimited, plus 200 a year. And I know it's Euro, but it's not very far off from the US. Not very far off at all. But I get it. So I will put it as a bonus for now. Because but it's very important, in my opinion, to have this. In case you couldn't tell, what this plugin does is it translates your site. So, most sites are in English, but in America specifically, but also around the world, because more and more things, because it's online, it's becoming international. As long as you can ship it, you have a customer. As long as they're willing to pay for extra shipping, which they usually are. They know the rules. If you're buying something from out of the country, it takes longer to ship and it's more expensive because you have to pay the shipping. So that way that the company that's selling doesn't get a loss just from shipping internationally, because it is more expensive to ship far away. But because everything's online, and the way America's going is, a lot of people, not just America too, just like most countries actually, most big countries, America, Canada, Europe, even like Asian countries, they're starting to get more diverse with people. So that means you're gonna have different languages. Specifically, I'm thinking in America, more and more people are coming, so more and more people don't speak English or read in English. And so I think it's important to be able to translate it, because not only are you losing a customer, but that's just, it's good for people to understand what you're doing. I've heard of WooCommerce a lot, which makes sense. So it looks like it's the biggest e-commerce for WordPress. Phone service. Oh, it just helps you with calling. Cool. I don't think I'll need it, but it's a cool idea. It's technically a CRM, but specifically for phone calls. But because of my mindset, my work, my age, and the way I know the people around me use the internet, less people are calling. Unless businesses are asking for calls, because it's a long time. You have to pay someone to always be on the phone. Yeah, it's easier to go through email or through online chat. Well, that's great. I dropped something. So these are some extra tools, some honorable mentions, if you will. Grammarly. So, okay, writing, published, editorial workflow. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm assuming it means collaborative writing, maybe. Anti-spam. Oh, to help with comments. Social feed, so not just like linking your social media so people can go, but also like showing some social media on your website if you want. Images with Photoshop. This is just helping with, that shouldn't be necessary, in my opinion. Okay, just galleries, pictures. And a website that helps you find WordPress developers. Which, fair. Okay, so let's see how much of our list got checked off. Specifically, the needs. So we have a lead for security. Weird that they didn't have a content management system, but I guess WordPress might be that. I don't know. But it's very strange that they didn't add that on there. We have for performance, SEO. So everything checked off for needs except for arguably the most important is the content management system. Top 3 for sure. Well, top 2 for sure, but I think most important actually. Okay, bonuses. Nothing for invoices, fair. Nothing for ads or sign in, but we do have forms, email marketing, and then we added a lot. Analytics, backup, social media, and then language. So that's cool. Now what I'll do, I have a friend that has some experience with WordPress, and he recommended Elementor, which I have heard of. So oh snap, it's free. You get more stuff for pay. Well, this is what I love, is when you have free stuff and then you give the option. I know technically you lose sales, but maybe you don't because you have more people using it. And so, like I said, you can get ads or like, there's other ways to monetize, but it is free. You can't code with it. Obviously very good design, which is a very good idea if you're making a web design. So let's look directly. WordPress CMS. Probably because I'm not used to or I actually don't know anything about WordPress. But I know WordPress itself is a CMS, but I need a CMS for my CMS. Since it's a CMS because WordPress is a place to make websites, right? So I understand it's a content management system. But here's the thing. I need someone to update the content without using WordPress, or to use something very simple. I don't know, but maybe it's built in. Maybe. Maybe I wouldn't need a CMS, maybe, because the point I'm trying to make is I need people to pay me to maintain their website. That's one reason I'm going for WordPress specifically, is because a legitimate reason they would need me is I need to keep the plugins up to date. If not, you can get hacked, which I know is a very real issue. And so it's a really good marketing strategy for maintenance. No one ever wants to get hacked for good reason. I'll keep it for now as my CMS. Yeah, so I think that's everything for me so far. I don't think I need ads or sign in right now. Sign in might be built in actually. Pretty much what I'm looking for is for sign-in features. That's a lot. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, also cool. I like that. So what I said was cool was maintenance mode is it automatically has a way of turning off your website, and then you can already have built-in like pages that says, you know, under maintenance, comes back, you know, at this time or stuff like that. And then the other one that was cool was safe mode, was if there's something breaking in your website. Like I said, because these plugins are made from other people, they can break, especially if, you know, they change versions. That might mess things up for you. A safe mode, it's saying that you can turn all the other plugins off, you know, disconnect them, but your Elementor, which is your main website, is this one, will keep running. So that's good. It's saying, hey, if everything else is breaking, your website is still up, which is nice. And it's not a pro version. I'm assuming if it has this and all that, you probably have a sign-in feature. That's my guess. No, I was looking for... I think it's good for now. Honestly, I'm happy with our list so far. I don't have too much time before work. Not enough time for me to actually want to get started on this. So I think this is good for now. I had fun doing this. I'm happy to learn more about it. This actually seems very viable. If I can get this figured out, specifically, hopefully, by the end of the year, then I can really ramp up, I want to say production, which technically is right, I'm producing websites. Yeah, I can really make faster, possibly safer websites. I don't know if safer is the right word. The way I make them right now is pretty safe because I don't handle any. But I can make more customizable websites with less, I don't know if less time, but less obstacles, I would say. Because the way I currently make websites, it's very safe, but it's not very customizable, which is a problem because if a customer wants something, I may not be able to do it, or it would be painstaking for me to try to figure out how to do it. But it doesn't mean I might leave the old way forever, you know. I just have a new way of doing it, so it depends on the use case. Because the way I'm doing it is simpler, and is backed by a good company. Okay, I think I'll call it here. Thank you for watching. If my wife is watching, I love you. And I had fun, and I'm excited to continue. Okay, bye.